the Sennheiser E865, I've got the S version, which means it has a switch. How I came by it? Well, there's a kind of a second-hand shop next to one of the places that I used to teach at, and here it was, less than half price. Sennheiser condenser, I thought, give it a go, and used it immediately with the students so I could check it worked. Generally speaking, I've found with second-hand mics, if they work, even the condensers, then they work. Unboxing charts and accessories came just like this. I imagine it would have come with a Sennheiser bag, which I'm using from one of their other mics, the larger ones, and this doesn't quite fit. I won't go on about that. So this one lives in here, and I imagine it came with the charts and accessories and in a cardboard box. That's what I imagine. What the manufacturer says. Well, it's an electret condenser supercardioid microphone. When I looked, it was about £209. Sensitive to every nuance and tough on the road. No matter whether it's loud or quiet, it's worth its weight in gold. It delivers consistent sound quality, so on and so forth. Now, something it does mention at the end here, which it doesn't on many of the others as far as I can remember. On the one hand, this is studio sound, even for demanding live gigs, and on the other, a special class for moderators and speakers that allows precise reproduction even of plosive sounds. And it comes with a noiseless on-off switch, the S version. So that's what I'm wondering a bit about. I think, let me see the other thing I had here. They do mention that speakers, people speaking. So I'm wondering, okay, no, that's where I got it. They only mentioned it the once, or maybe they mentioned it twice. So I'm wondering, is it aimed at bingo callers and such? Pretty expensive and pretty high quality if it is. What would be things I would expect for a mic that's going to be used by people talking, moderators? If you've got the money, schools and so on. Pretty classy mic for that. Well, I'd imagine then a reduced proximity effect, because most people are going to probably hold it too close. And I'd imagine that most people who are just not professional speakers are going to be quite a few S's and pops going on. So if it's aimed at that, I would imagine it would have those qualities. Don't know. Have a look at the frequency response and see if that gives anything away. Should be coming up on the screen there. Well, this one has been kind of averaged. And there is quite a presence peak, up around 5 to 10. Flat through the lower treble, very high mid, and then a slight boost through the low mid down to about 200, and then it rolls off. No proximity trace. So looking at that, I'd expect a bit of up top, a little bit of warmth there. Nothing I can see that makes it particularly suited to a speaker, someone speaking. Fit, finish, feel, and accessories. Well, there they both are. I'm going to look close up in just a moment. Difficult to say. I get the suspicion, perhaps a little bit lighter than the SM58, I don't know. Certainly a fair bit larger, as you can see. Well, I'll look closely, take it apart. It's got the Sennheiser switch, which, like the others, is a bit prone to a little bit of rattle when you touch it. Have a look close up. Here it is in all its glory. Just see what the fit's like. Nitric, and yeah, wow. Superb. No rattling there. Sennheiser are very good at that. Almost feels like there's a rubber, oh dear, sorry, rubber bushing or something. But very good. Oh. Foam around the sides, continuous piece, and slightly thicker foam at the top. So, in terms of pops and stuff, we shall see later. Excuse me. Nothing that strikes me as being particularly pop resistant there, usual sort of stuff. Oh, the other thing as non-professional speakers, I'm not knocking anybody, but you know what it's like. People are not used to handling microphones and so on. The handling noise would probably be quite significant because I'll tap it about and stuff. No suspension there, but that doesn't mean that the capsule itself in there. This is quite interesting. So the diaphragm itself is obscured by that. And I think you can see the diaphragm, I don't know if you can, through there. So is that to stop blasts? Don't know. Anyway, I mean, no complaints. Quite short threads, but fine. There's obviously some sort of, yeah, lossy. That sounds like a chipmunk. But you're not going to do that when you're singing, eh? Well, you might do. Might be a new thing, eh? Yeah, doesn't look very rock and roll, does it? I'm not criticising it, but it does look a bit corporate to my mind. Interesting. But, of course, what matters is what it sounds like. We'll get on to that momentarily. I've set the levels as best I can. Here it is. Make sure both the switches are on. If you've got a mic with a switch and you use this as well, you're asking for trouble. I'll leave them be and use the mutes. Here I am on the Sennheiser. Sounds like it's quieter, but actually on the meters it's a bit louder. I'm quite aware of that as I speak, which is probably that peak at the top. I'm aware of a kind of a smoothness. Go back to the SV33. Now I'm on the SV33, which is more revealing in all that area, as you would expect. Back on the Sennheiser, feels a little bit muted, feels a little bit as if there's compression going on, but there isn't any. Anything else? I'm just bring it in a bit closer. Bring it in a bit closer. It's got some low end there. It's curtailed, but, you know, yeah. I don't think I'd complain, really. Something about there, I feel like I need to push. I think it's those mid. It's probably that sunken mid. So it makes me want to push my voice a bit. Whereas on this one, I can relax because I can feel that everything's there. The low end's there. I don't feel I have to push that bit. I can hear all the top stuff as well. Back on the Sennheiser. Yeah, so a little bit muted. Can you hear that? I don't know. Let's go to the SM58. The 33 is off. This is a Sennheiser. And this is the SM58. And this is the SM58. A lot more of that. And of course, not so much low end there either, if I bring it in. So again, kind of papery and a bit shut in, but back on the Sennheiser. It's kind of inoffensive, isn't it? put the 58 down for the minute. Cover all that stuff shortly. Just want to acclimatise a little bit. It's a relief to have this. But, sorry about that. Here we are. So, the Sennheiser. Pops. So this is the thing I was wondering about. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, being clumsy as I can. Or as I dare. Peter Piper picked a peck. When are you going to learn? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper seems to drop off a fair bit there. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of... Yeah, so... Well, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's any better than the 58, but it does go lower. So nothing that makes me think it's necessarily... Apart from that kind of smoothness. Could be in the electronics, of course. It's a condenser. I think they have preamps in there and stuff you can fiddle about with. S's. Fine. S's. Doesn't go as high as this one. S's. A little bit muted again. Fine. S's. 58, because it's ragged at the top there. It's got that a lot of that going on is not as, I wouldn't say not as good, but it's more pronounced. Breath. Who do you think you're fooling? 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 It's in a different place, isn't it? Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Who. The woof of it is a bit lower. But, okay. If you're going to do that. Proximity. Bringing it in closer. Bringing it in closer. Well, it's got it. Not enough for me. It's got it there. And it's a little bit boxy, a little bit SM58, but 58-ish, but lower. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? In some ways, the 50th, apart from that, that's really an issue for me. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think? There isn't the weight, but somehow it's maybe a bit clearer because of that. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? The SM58 seems to be a little bit clearer somewhere in that upper, lower, mid, upper bass area, but maybe because there's more bass on this. 33. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Again, just open and natural to me. But we're not dealing with this. We're dealing with this. Back on this one then. Polar response. They say it's supercardioid. Let's see if we can hear that. Here I am, fully on axis, coming round to the side, coming round to the side, coming round to the side, coming round to the side. Takes a while for it to, and then quite suddenly, maybe because of the band there, maybe quite suddenly, but I don't think so because sound waves go around it. Quite suddenly, quite a lot of cut off. And then, yes, as you come round to the back, you can hear the lobe that the supercardioid has coming back round to the side. Very good rejection there, very good. Coming up there, coming to the front, coming to the front, coming to the front, side slightly. So yeah, and when the level diminishes at the side, the tone stays much the same. So for someone who's inexperienced maybe and wandering it about a bit, it's kind of, maybe it works okay. Handling self-noise and induced noise well. I would say not bad. No real low-end thump at all. Quite surprising. The 50. You can lock this switch, by the way. Might be a good idea, hey? Depending. Or just keep your wits about you. SM58 handling noise. Well, completely different, no? A lot of low-end stuff. Of course, a lot of people cut the bass on PAs, so... yeah. I'd say very good. Very good. Self and induced noise. I don't hear any noise. Let's just see. Bear in mind the hiss is going to be the fan. Next to the transformer, I don't expect there to be anything. And indeed there isn't. So I'd say, yeah. Is it good for speaking? Is it good for speaking? As soon as I drew a breath, I heard it on there. You can hear it there. Yeah, it's muted, isn't it? Something's a bit muted. Don't know. I have to do later on I'm going to do a comparison between 3 of the Sennheisers. And that might be quite interesting. Anyway, not really any complaints. Would I prefer it to an SM58? Would I prefer it to an what have I got here? What am I invited to do? Yeah, what am I invited to explore? 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 Kind of round about that age there. That area there is quite smooth and quite okay. I'm quite happy with that. But if I go down to them, not really rewarding. There's a bit too much of that. Oh, if I go down there, something about it just doesn't really want me to go down there. It's a bit muddy and bloomy and indistinct. S33. Or if I go down there, yeah, if I go down there, makes me wanna, then I go down there, makes me wanna play. If I go down, that makes me wanna play. If I go down there, oh no. Maybe up there doesn't really do that. I think the SM58 is going to be better for that. If you want that pushed a bit, let's try the 33 with that and then the 58. If I'm doing that, immediately there's more, yeah. If I'm doing that on the 33, doing that on the 33, doing that on the... yeah, it just sort of does it. Doing that on the Sennheiser, doing that on the... Doing that on the SM50, I'm doing that on the SM58, doing that. Oh, I've got a new test. The new test, I did it on the last microphone, it's been a while ago. I've now kind of forgotten it, I've just got some notes here. What's it called? The hiss, hum and tone test. The hiss, hum and tone test. Yeah. If only I could remember what it is. Well, the first two are pretty obvious. Much more detail, no? SM58. Between the two. 58 ragged, this smoothed out. 33 very open. Hum. Why would I hum? I don't know. Let's go with it. That's why. Very, very different. That's why I did it. SM58. These two, because these are the ones you're more likely to have. 58. Sennheiser. Makes me want to go. Tone. Tone test. I don't know what a tone test was, but must have had a reason for it when I wrote it down. So I'm going to make something up. I'm going to use an or oo, because it's one of the most toneful vowels, isn't it? Maybe that's what I was doing. I can't remember. Let's have a go. Ooh, 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 ooh. 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 Ooh, ooh. Yeah, muted again, isn't it? 58. just kind of lacking, as I speak, lacking something. So back on the Sennheiser, well, on the 33, for a bit of relief, 33 sounds louder, but the meters say not. That loudness thing is to do with frequencies, actually, and I think clarity, as I've said before. So the whole things are kind of like, what are you going to do? So, there it is. Do I think it's suitable for speakers, conferences and so on? What about it would make it particularly suitable for that? What about it would make, well, there, as I did that, I noticed that cuts through quite smooth, and that's a quite smooth top end there, and that bit. And I guess, you move it to someone's a bit like this, it doesn't really overdo it, I suppose. So, I don't know, they mentioned that. It kind of looks it. I think if I were given this to be a speaker in a conference, I'd be very happy with it. If I were a bingo caller, very happy with it. Depends on the PA, of course. Anyway, see how it works with a bit of sing-song. Maybe you're poor, maybe you have wealth, maybe in demand or maybe baby on the shelf. Whatever your situation, there's one thing you should do. Reject all automation, let me work on you. I'm Mr. Manual. Automatic's not my style. I like to manually manipulate you. It's guaranteed to make you smile. They call me Mr. Manual, automatic's not my style. They call me Mr. Manual, automatic's not my style. I like to manually manipulate you, guaranteed to make you smile. Yeah, I like to manually manipulate you. It's guaranteed to make you smile. I like to manually manipulate you. It's guaranteed to make you smile. El diplomático de traje gris.